WLNS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News at 5.
A big bump in the road today for President Trump's so-called big, beautiful budget bill. It's our top story at 5. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jorma Duran. The White House is pushing the Senate to quickly pass the president's proposed budget, but the plan is currently getting changed by lawmakers there, which could make it harder to haggle with the House. Erica Brown is here for you now from Capitol Hill.
President Trump is hosting Republican senators at the White House as he tries to push through his self-proclaimed big, beautiful bill.
We expect that bill to be on the president's desk for signature by July 4th.
President Trump and GOP leaders on the Hill are trying to walk a tightrope to win over reluctant moderates without alienating hardline conservatives. Their efforts took a hit Thursday with a ruling from the parliamentarian saying the bill would require more than a simple majority vote if they want to change how Medicaid providers are taxed. The proposal would have raised more than $200 billion to help pay for the bill, satisfying some Republicans who don't want to add hundreds of billions of dollars to the deficit.
I know the House and the Senate have worked hard to come up with things that they believe would pass the bird bath, so I think it's pretty frustrating.
Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
While Democrats are in the minority in the House and Senate, but they're sounding the alarm about the budget as well. That includes Michigan Senator Elissa Slotkin, who laid out what she calls an economic war plan for America in Washington today. Senator Slotkin says her vision prioritizes economic fairness, national security, and a stronger stand against extremism. She tackled everything from the proposed budget to the effect on tariffs and even concerns about how artificial intelligence could replace American jobs. That's why she says Democrats need to start playing offense.
The middle class doesn't have a lobbyist. They don't have a super PAC. They don't have a corporate PAC. But they should have the Democratic Party.
Senator Slotkin says her party needs to return to its roots, find its focus, and take that message to the American people. Concern about the federal budget isn't just limited to Washington. Local constituents worried about the future of Medicaid marched on congressional offices here in Michigan once again. They went to 3 offices in Michigan, including Tom Barrett's office here in Lansing, John James in Warren, and Bill Huizenga in Portage. They're part of a group called Protect My Care, and they delivered messages from voters who want to protect Medicaid from budget cuts. 700,000 low-income Michiganders use the federal health care program. Barrett has previously told 6 News that the cuts would only remove people who are not eligible for the program. Be sure to stay tuned to 6 News and the CBS Evening News as we continue to track the changes and the future of the federal budget. And even though some people are still talking about rigged elections, a new statewide survey suggests it's a non-issue among Democrats, independents, and Republicans, especially since a heavy-hitting bipartisan group of former lawmakers backed up those findings today. 6 News Capitol correspondent Tim Skubic is here for you now to sift through the poll.
Michigan voters were asked in this statewide survey if the 2024 election was fair, secure, and accurate, and 76% answered yes. That included Democrats, Republicans, and independent voters. And 88% of the voters report that they trust their local election officials, which is up 10 points from October of 2024. This former governor says that's good news.
The confidence level is high, and I think it's, the strong belief that we've got a system that works.
Legislative Republicans in this town, however, are hitting hard at efforts to keep non-citizens from voting. And there could be a statewide ballot issue in 2026 to beef up the state laws with proof of citizenship and photo IDs required to vote. Pollster Richard Zuba finds 57% of the electorate is somewhat concerned, and 36% are very concerned about the integrity of who votes.
So Michigan may face a constitutional amendment, potentially, that would require proof of citizenship to register and require the Secretary of State to verify the citizenship of every registered Michigan voter. By a margin of 66 to 28, Michigan voters would support that.
And while state lawmakers are paid to pass laws on a variety of issues, a rather incredible polling number reveals that 82% of the citizens think they should be the ones approving election laws and not the politicians. And former Lieutenant Governor John Cherry warns if there is that public debate, There will be some bad guys to look out for.
There will be people who will want to take these debates and provide some misinformation, perhaps try to inject some degree of fear in the process. But the truth is that Michigan's process is a healthy one.
This panel of former governors, including Jim Blanchard, pledged to work to keep the system healthy to maintain the public trust in the outcome of their voting, the very bedrock of our democracy. Here for you in Lansing, Tim Skubic, 6 News.
Speaking of confidence in elections, a bunch of Michigan business groups came together today to say they're not feeling very confident about 2 potential ballot initiatives. Groups including the Michigan Chamber of Commerce and the Small Business Association of Michigan say they're concerned about a petition that would add a 5% income tax to single people making $500,000 or $1 million for joint filers. The group behind the petition, Invest in My Kids, says that money would be used exclusively for public education. A second proposal from the group, Voters to Stop Pay Cuts, would change the way tipped workers get paid. The business leaders say if these 2 proposals became law, all Michiganders would pay the price.
Make no mistake that this proposal is a jobs killer. It would wreck Michigan small businesses, and that's the same thing as wrecking the Michigan economy.
The Board of State Canvassers will consider the wording of the proposals tomorrow. We'll let you know how it turns out. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, about 1 in 8 people in the U.S. who are living with HIV don't even know they have it, and they're hoping that might change tomorrow. That's because Friday is National HIV Testing Day. It was first launched in 1995, and it's meant to raise awareness and encourage people to get tested. Doctors say early detection is key, and it can lead to faster treatment and better outcomes, such as the virus becoming undetectable or untransmittable.
Consider these days that if you're undetectable, if when you get the blood test, the virus is not detected in blood, that you're not contagious to someone else, but it's always encouraged for patients to be transparent.
And there's a site in Lansing that's providing free testing tomorrow, not just for HIV, but for other sexually transmitted diseases. And we'll tell you where to find it in the Scene on 6 section of our website, WLNS.com.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Well, there have been quite a few showers and thunderstorms scattered around mid-Michigan this afternoon. Some of those producing some gusty winds and very heavy rainfall. Let's go to the Doppler and notice now it's generally from 96 northward where we're seeing the bulk of the activity. Earlier today, it was more southern sections of mid-Michigan seeing the storms. We'll zoom in then on where the storms are currently located, and that's just south of St. John's, north of St. John's, west towards Ionia and into the city of Lansing as well. So we've got one cell about to move over downtown. Strongest of the cells is currently in southern Ionia County. This storm was up to around 30,000 feet just about 5 minutes ago. It's starting to come down, which means there's probably some really gusty winds taking place in southern Ionia County. Further to the east, the cell moving into the city of Lansing only extends around 20,000 feet in the atmosphere. It can produce some heavy rainfall, but it likely will not have hail. Winds will be gusty, but it shouldn't be anything too strong, probably around 25 to 35 miles per hour as the cell continues to move to the east-southeast. We zoom out a bit. The severe weather risk for today is a level 1. Low-end risk, gusty winds is really our only concern. Level 2 risk is to our west. And as we head into Friday, mainly south and east of Lansing, but does include Jackson over towards Howell, southeastern Ingham County. Again, that level 1 risk for some gusty winds as storms move through. Rainfall totals over the next 5 days, nothing too extreme, but with some of these storms this evening, that's probably the heaviest of the rainfall we're going to see over the next 5 days. In terms of the day by day, Friday looks like a rainy day in the afternoon. Basically rain free for Saturday and Sunday, but Sunday night into Monday, some more showers and thunderstorms will roll through as a different kind of air mass, a refreshing, a cooler, a drier air mass starts to settle in finally. Precision cast for tonight, there go the storms for tonight. By tomorrow morning, nothing more than a stray shower worst case. Through the early afternoon, we expect some showers and storms to pop up and roll through probably between noon and around 4 4 o'clock or so. You can see by 7 o'clock, they're already to our east and we're done with the storms. As we head into Saturday, it looks quiet to start. Few clouds around certainly, but those should begin to break up in the afternoon, leaving us with sunny or mostly sunny skies to finish out the day. Temperatures currently 81 Ionia, 85 in Lansing, 86 in Mason, but factor in the humidity, of course, it feels very muggy out there. Heat index values generally running in the 90s with a heat index of 98, the warm spot in Mason. Here's the Skyview network. We're waiting on the rain showers on the McLaren cam. Temperatures at 87 degrees. High today was up to 88. In Grand Ledge, we've had some rain moving through. We're up to 900ths of an inch. Current temperature down to 81 degrees. In Jackson, we've got fair skies after the rain earlier. Temperature 85 degrees. No report on that rainfall. Final stop in Hillsdale. We've got temperatures in the upper 80s with 700ths of an inch. For tonight, we'll see low temperatures dropping into the 70s. Very mild out there. Tomorrow, we'll climb back into the mid 80s with light winds and a chance for those afternoon showers and storms. 6-day forecast. Weekend looks good. Lower humidity next week with temperatures for lows in the 50s by next Thursday.
I like that. Well, still ahead, we'll have the latest on the fallout from America's bombing of Iran and the reaction from 2 mid-Michigan congressmen. And later, we'll take you to Jackson as the community there celebrates a major makeover. We'll take you on a tour, so stay right there. 6 News at 5. We'll be right back.